Hi, I'm Sandra Katrina Yabut and I'm from this IT3B. And today, me and Mr. Nico Ampuan will be discussing the differences between the Android and the iOS. So first, we all know that smartphones are very vital product in our daily lives. It can be the medium of communication and it can be used in school related works, entertainment, business related, and many more. So, as I've said earlier, there are two operating systems that are available in the market today, which is the Android and the iOS. So, we are discussing the differences between the Android and the iOS. I will be discussing the iOS functionality and features. So first, iOS developer is Apple Incorporation. Okay, the initial release date is June 29, 2007. So iOS latest stable release and updates are the iOS 14.1 and the iPad OS 14.1. So in that case, iOS has a source model, closed source. Okay, closed source. They don't allow developers to change anything that deals with the operating system itself. But the Apple Incorporated stakeholders gives the developer an API or the application programming interface, okay, to program the iPhone, but they restrict them in a very little manner. So in that case, it is a closed source. So in terms of prices of the smartphone, so the price range of an iPhone ranges from 40,000 to 90,000 pesos here in the Philippines, depending on the RAM. Okay, for instance, the new release of the iPhone, the model is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So we can see below the price range depending on the RAM. So if the customers will buy the 128 GB, the price range is 68,990 pesos here in the Philippines. I know it's a bit pricey, but the functionality of the iOS are very reliable. Okay, iOS in terms of memory. Most of the recent Android devices have more 4 GB RAM. Okay. On the other side, the latest iPhone have 3 to 4 GB RAM, which is nearly half in some cases. I know that the iOS has a lower RAM in terms if we compare it to the Android, but it doesn't mean that the performance of the iOS can be worse or it can be slow. Okay, we should not judge it by that. So the iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch, it comes with a set of internal storage capacity ranging from 16 GB to 512 GB for iPhone only, and 16 GB to 1 TB for iPad, and 8 GB to 256 GB for iPod Touch. Okay. So iOS memory is handled by the apps themselves. Instead of allowing apps to take up as much RAM as they want and freeing it with no longer in use, iOS apps automatically allocate and deallocate memory as needed. So iOS has a feature of if the app is not being used by the user, it can be freeze, and the and the space can be used in the other application for the user. Okay, so iOS in terms of App Store, affordability, and interface. So iOS has the Apple App Store itself. Okay, it has 1 million plus application. The apps there are containing viruses, very rare only, or non-existent virus at all. Okay, so iOS in terms of virtual assistants, we all know the virtual assistant of the iOS or the iPhone is none other than Miss Siri. Okay, and iOS are available on iPod Touch, iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, second and third generation only. iOS in terms of alternative app store and side loading. So we all know that Apple blocks third-party app store. The phone needs to be jailbreak if the user want to download apps from the other store. Okay, it can be a bit advantage if the Apple blocks the third-party app, because it can prevent hackers from hacking the iOS or the iPhone or the smartphone of the user. Okay, and iOS in terms of updates. iOS updates are more regular and better than the ones you get in Android. So, as I've said earlier, the iOS has a new release update, which is the iOS 14.1. So, iOS release new functionality and better for performance for the user to experience. And the updates of iOS made it faster, not just safer. Moreover, iPhones receive regular operating system updates directly from their manufacturer, Apple. So that's the advantage of the iOS, because the updates are from the manufacturer itself, from the Apple, and it can be a bit advantage for the user. Okay, so the next one is in terms of security. Occasional security updates, security threats are rare because iOS, as we all know, is locked, or it is closed source model. Okay, and downloading apps out of the App Store is complicated. So as I've said, the Apple they block the third-party App Store. If the user wants to download an application from other App Store, it can be complicated for the user to do so. So in that case, I'm done explaining the functionality and the system of the iOS smartphone, and Mr. Nico will be discussing the Android.
Thank you, Miss Andrea Yabut. And the next lesson is the Android and its features. The first features is the latest stable release. The latest stable release by Android is the Android 11, and it is the 11th major release and 18th version of Android, the mobile operating system developed by the Open Handset Alliance led by Google. The next is the source model. The source model of Android is open source. It is a type of computer software in which source code is released under alliance, in which the copyright holder grants the user the rights to use, study, change, and distribute the software to anyone and for any purpose. And the example of open source is the kernel that based on Linux, the UI, the Jelly Bean, and etc. Next is the memory. Nowadays, the memory of Android is become bigger. They offer 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, and higher RAM at a lower price. The next is the App Store. Google Play Store is 2 million plus apps. Other app stores like Amazon and Aptoide also distribute Android apps. The next is virtual assistants. The virtual assistants of Android is the Google Assistant. It is an artificial intelligence powered by virtual assistant developed by Google that is primarily available on mobile and smart home devices. While in iOS, it have the virtual assistant called Siri. Next is the Android is available on many phones and tablets. Major manufacturers such as Samsung, Oppo, OnePlus, Vivo, Honor, and Xiaomi. Android One devices are pure Android. Next is the alternative apps. Several alternative app stores other than the official Google Play Store. Example is the Aptoide and the Galaxy apps. Next, the Android updates. It have a monthly update that can boost your phone to work better. Next, the security. Monthly, the Android have monthly security updates. Android software patches are available soonest to Pixel device user. Manufacturers tend to lag behind in pushing out these updates. Then next and the last is the conclusion. We can say that Android is better than iOS. In terms of price, we all know that Android offers cheaper price than iOS. In terms of memory, we could get an Android that have 8 GB RAM and we could get it at its lower price. Then next, in terms of battery. In terms of battery, we all know that Android achieved these features because Android can undergo a day before its battery life became empty. And last, we could say that Android is pangmasa and we could say the Android is everywhere. And we could say that more Filipinos would like to buy Android devices rather than iOS because it have cheaper price and we could use it for better.